I have to interrupt you because now we can look at your story, the one that today you've compiled for us. Let's take a look at it before we come back to you, Gladys.
The Chicken Gate scandal was a well-crafted scheme with the main actors in Kenya, with those pulling strings sitting pretty in the United Kingdom. In a court in London, the Serious Fraud Office traced emails between his son and his father to Kenyan officials detailing how money will be raised, codenamed and shared out. The plan was simple. A local agent, Trevor Yombra, wrote a series of emails confirming that election officials had agreed to inflate the cost of printing election materials. To avoid the eyes of the London and Kenyan police, Trevi coined a new term for the bribes as chicken. The bribe money was paid into the accounts of Trevor Yombra and was allegedly shared out among senior election officials who have since denied taking part in the chicken feasting.
It is impossible for you to sit with a supplier as the CEO and agree on a price and then expect the technical committee to rubber stamp it, tender committee to rubber stamp it, the user department to rubber stamp it.
Indeed, two family members, a father and son running a printing company in the United Kingdom, Smith and Usman, were found guilty of bribing the officials through a local agent. But in Kenya, the EACC is walking a tightrope.
London did a very thorough investigation. What they were trying to prove in London was that Smith and Usman did in fact agree to make illegal payments, which of course went to Trevi. As to whether Trevi transmitted it to the next people is what they should be interrogating actually. So London only confirmed that Smith and Usman agreed to make the payments and did make the payments. What the EACC here should be investigating is who did Trevi give the money. That is what they should be checking. That's the real corruption. Not looking at who signed which contract and which LPO and who was in which meeting. That is completely, they're going on a different, they're taking the wrong route completely. They're not investigating the crime of corruption, illegal receiving money.
Gladys Shollei, who is not mentioned as one of the beneficiaries of the Chicken Gate loot, has told KTN she was called to the EACC to shed light on the Electoral Commission's conduct during the Chicken Gate dealings.
Immediately wrote to the Serious Fraud Office, wrote back and said that, they confirmed that you're neither named as a co-conspirator and neither are you named as an indictee. That my name was mentioned in the evidence as someone who works at IEBC. I worked at IIEC at the time.
The London court details how senior Electoral Commission officials engaged the London-based printing company, Smith and Usman, in awarding them several tenders to supply election materials.
When you look at the case of Ahmed Isaac, he's been investigated when he's in office. So why are the favoritism? Why is Ahmed Isaac different from other people? And the minister stepped aside. And we're not saying they're guilty, but we're just saying that if that is the pattern we're going to use on everybody, let's use it on everybody.
Legal pundits say 2 years since a court in London tried, convicted and jailed their own, the EACC must look beyond the evidence before a London court to convict any of the Kenyan officials implicated in the Chicken Gate scandal.
I have read all the cases that they have taken recently to court. 90% of them are on 3 sections only. Nowhere have they charged anybody with the offences that are created within the Public Procurement Act. Neither have they charged anyone with the offences that are created within the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. What they are doing is they are looking at procedures and calling the fact that you undertook this procedure is willful failure.
EACC is grappling in the dark if indeed the money the local agent received was a bribe or a commission for a job well done. Benson Sarigo, KTN News.